going on, everybody? Welcome back to the spin-off, another episode. Of course, it's been a little while. I had to take some time off, but look at me. I'm recharged. I'm ready to go. And today, my guest, everybody, is actor, comedian, Jason Stuart. Thank you so much for joining me today, sir.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
So, Jason, this has been some time coming. I had to postpone once, feeling a little under the weather yesterday. So, and this is something I told you I'd be getting a hold of you for a while back. We finally got this on track. Now here you are, Jason. How you doing, man?
I am in sunny Palm Springs, California, and I am happy and rested and getting ready to see what's going to be happening next in my career, honestly. Finally starting to doing some live shows, auditioning on tape, and doing a lot of interviews for my album, my book, my series, my episode of Goliath coming up. Also, you know, and the shows that are coming up. I have two big shows in California.
And Goliath is one I wanted to talk about. Yeah, starring
Sure.
Billy Bob Thornton. And man, you landed a role in that in episode, I believe it's 406.
Yes.
So how did that come about? What was that experience like? And did you get to meet Mr. Billy Bob Thornton?
Well, I did it during COVID, and you know, so the whole set was on complete lockdown.
Yep.
We had our, you know, helmets on and our masks on, and I was wrapped in toilet paper and saran wrap. And so the series, if you don't know, is about this renegade lawyer played by Billy Bob Thornton, actor, writer, Academy Award winner, ex-husband of Angelina Jolie, who I've also worked with.
Wow.
And I had gotten an audition through my agent that Cammie Patton, the casting director, wanted me to put my audition on tape. So I did that and basically got the part. I had auditioned for Cammie Patton, oh my God, a million times. She's been incredibly supportive of me. One of my first jobs, I played a punk rock guy who got held up at a Tower Records. I was a Tower Records cashier, and I was hit in the head or thrown on the floor. And I think it was one of the kids from 90210, the blonde guy was the lead, was a pilot for CBS. And that was one of my first jobs that she actually gave it to me. So it only took a million years to get my second one. I had hair, it was all like this. I had hair that stand up like this, and it was sprayed back, and you know.
So what was that experience like, you know, having to basically look like a complete opposite version of yourself?
Well, it's a million years. So, you know, that was, you know, so long ago, but I didn't even get to meet Billy Bob Thornton, honestly. I did it. My scene was with two-time Academy Award nominee, veteran, iconic actor, Bruce Dern.
Oh,
who
wow.
got nominated for Nebraska, your state, and for Coming Home with Jane Fonda, and John Voight, who is now a Republican. That's sort of interesting. And who is Angelina Jolie's dad.
Yep.
So there's sort of a whole kind of thing here. There's actually a triangle of Kevin Bacon. And I have worked with Kira on The Closer. So there's a Kira Sedgwick. So there's a close set. And my scene also starred J.K. Simmons, Oscar winner. And he is the arc, the big story about in this season 4. So I got to do a scene with both of them.
Wow.
And it was certainly, you know, intimidating to say the least, having not acted in a year, you know, going other than a couple short films that I did on my phone with friends, you know, so it was quite intimidating and fun and scary and exciting and everything.
Oh, I bet so. Yeah, J.K. Simmons, iconic actor, the man,
Oh,
is a legend in Hollywood, and yeah, he's still going as strong as he was, you know, 15, 20 years ago, and you got to work with that man. So
it's funny because I turned down an audition to play a bartender in some movie he was doing because the scene was, you know, here's your drink, Joe, or something like that. And I said, they're going to cut me out, or the camera's not going to be on me. I'm not going to do that part. They said, it's J.K. Simmons. I said, I know, but I can't do that. I don't do that kind of stuff. I've been around too long, and I don't do doctor, here's your chart. And, you know, I don't do that. And then, of course, a year later, I get to work with him. So when you stand up for yourself and, know your worth, things do happen. Build it and it will come. Thank you, Kevin Costner.
That was another thing I'd like to ask. With how long you've been doing this,
I started acting when I was 8 or 9, doing a Purim play at my temple. I played a slave because I had low self-esteem, and ruined one of my mother's sheets. And if you you are able to read that in my biography called "Shut Up, I'm Talking," and we'll talk more about that. From CCB Publishing, available on Amazon. And that was my first thing I did. Then I started to do school plays and community theater plays. And then I started studying when I was 14. I started pursuing my career when I was 16. And I got my first professional job when I was 19.
Wow. And how long did it really take? Like you said, when you finally stand up for yourself, how long was it before you were like, I'm turning down certain roles just because it doesn't?
I think it started around the time I did A Birth of the Nation, after I did that, because I had 8 or 9 scenes in that film.
That's right. You played Joseph Randall,
yes,
plantation owner.
Played a white heterosexual Christian plantation owner in 1831. Hard times and small farmers like you and myself, breaking even's hard enough and getting ahead's impossible. Now to save some, cut them back to a meal a day per head. You ready, boy?
Wow. That's nothing like you at all. That's amazing.
That's my goal. That's my goal in life, is I don't really want to be me. I don't really exist in television and film.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there's no 50-ish guy who's gay and Jewish doing parts in movies. There's just who's got a big white head and a big bald head with a beard that he has done by another gay guy. A little room behind someone's house.
I love that. That's amazing, man. You also did another film called Immortal where you played Joe.
Yes, that was really my J.K. Simmons part.
Wow.
It really was, because that was an interesting story. So I saw they were casting this film, so I looked up this director, John DeBach, and I saw he had a website. And I looked him up, and I saw that he had done a film with a lot of comedians in it. I thought, oh, he likes comedians. And he happened to have an email there. So I sent him an email, and I sent him a letter saying I liked his work. I saw the trailer. It was really good for the other film. Mindy Sperling had been in it, who I know, and a lot of other comedians, people that are funny. And this film was a drama. So, I saw that he worked with Sam Levine a lot. And I saw that he was open to the idea of letting people play things that are different. So I sent him a letter. He sent me an email the next day and said, we'd love to cast you in the film. I'm calling your agent today, and you'll work in 3 days. That was it.
That's all it took.
Yeah, I had a 5-minute scene, which I learned in 3 days, and 5 or 6 minutes. And I play a private investigator who's known for selling spyware. And then all it said was 2 things about the character. He was intimidating and he had a low voice. So I can do a low voice, and I can be, Brian, we can't see your face. That big mic is in front of it. You got the glasses and the face. You look like you're in the witness protection program. Move over to the side just a little, they'll still see you.
Oh, Brian, I love that.
Do as you're told, because you look like a little person. There's so much, you look like you're from the land of Oz. So I did that, and I play someone he's intimidating, and I didn't really know my character completely. I couldn't figure it out, honestly. So I learned it backwards and forwards, and I came in and worked with Sam Levine from Freaks and Geeks, and he was just brilliant. And he basically helped me create my character without him even knowing it. He was great.
Wow. All right. And see, then you have your series Smothered. And you can find this on Amazon or YouTube, everybody.
Amazon, YouTube, Reverie for the gays, Pause for the Europeans, Apple TV, Android TV, Zulug, Zok, Zoop, Bushkak, and Liskabak. You can watch it on all those things. And we have a website, which is smotheredtv.com. So that will, you just click onto that, and that will click on it. You can watch it, the series there. It's 7 5-minute episodes. It's about this gay couple who have been together for 30 years, who hate each other, who can't afford to get divorced. They keep going to therapy, trying to figure that out. And then something terrible happens and they wind up in jail. But and they're just this hideous couple who I was just speaking to Mitch. I co-created it, co-starred in it, co-wrote it, co-produced it with Mitch Hara, who's a brilliantly funny, talented man. And we are now just got on the list. We were verified to be on the list to be nominated.
Oh, wow.
For an Emmy. So if there's any Academy members out there, check out our work. It's now on the TV Academy site, and they'll be ready to vote on June 17th, I believe.
So how easy was it to do a role like Smothered with you being openly gay? Was this just something that was easy?
It was a part I've never played. I never played this part before. It's a very victimish kind of really, really neurotic. I mean, a guy who's a little bit of a dim bulb.
Oh boy. Doesn't
live in real life at all. Is willing to take an incredible amount of abuse. And it's really, really funny. If you like David O. Russell films like Silver Lining Playbook or American Hustle, you will love this. It has that style of seriously crazy.
That's good. That's what we need nowadays. Just a little bit of crazy, just to keep us a little bit sane.
It's not a little. It's not a little.
That's good. See, guys, you've got to watch this show. It's hilarious.
You've watched it yourself?
I have watched the first episode. I'm going to get through the rest of it. This is going to be great.
Okay, I'm not excited now to be able to show anymore. I'm very disappointed.
I'm disappointed in myself a little bit, just to be fair.
Yeah, and we were nominated for the Queerty Awards for both of us for Best Actor and Best Series. We were nominated for Best Short for our first episode, the one with Helen Hong that you saw, for the Around the World Award in Amsterdam. And we've been, I think we're up to close to 50,000 views. So on all the platforms.
That's amazing. Man, if I could see those numbers on my show, my God, that'd be great. 50,000 views. What does it feel like to know that you're really getting huge exposure at this point?
I'm very, very, very pleasantly surprised that people are so excited to see the show. I really am, because I got to say, you never know what's going to hit. Yeah. You never know what people are going to love. There's stuff that I have loved that people haven't seen that much of, that I've loved, that I've been in. And then there are things that I haven't loved that I've done that everybody's seen. So, and then there are things that I have loved that they have seen, and things that I haven't. And this is not making any sense. Everybody's trying to follow this conversation. But, you just never know what's going to happen.
So we just brought it up. You did, as a matter of fact, your book, Shut Up, I'm Talking.
Shut Up, I'm Talking.
I got to know.
Making it to the middle. Did you read the book?
I'll be honest. I'm going to have, do you have an audio version? Because I'm not much of a reader.
Oh, okay. There was no reason to bring that up. No one needs to know that. Let me teach you about being a host. I have hosted 4 different shows. You lie and you read the notes, and you make the guest actually feel like you give a shit. It's easy to do. It's easy. You just go, oh my God, yes. That was, and the part about you acting in so many shows, and in your work, and you're so funny. Your stand-up is so different, and that would have been that you could have just done that.
If there's one thing I've learned after 18 years of marriage, you better just tell the truth.
Brian, let me just share this with you. We're not married.
That is very true.
And after this interview, we most likely won't see each other again. So it's like meeting me in a grocery store. There's I'm not your wife. Nothing's happening between us later. There's going to be no chit chat, or, this will be done. And you could have just lied to me and I would have felt better. But
I feel I owe it to my guests to maybe be a little more honest.
But the book is available on CCB Publishing. You can just go to my website, jasonstuart.com, Stuart, and just push book and you can buy it. And or shop, not book, shop.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's about my life. It's an autobiography. It's from, from the beginning of being a baby boy and having a father who was a Holocaust survivor, a mother who loved to date everyone on the block while she was married, my crazy brother, my Orthodox Jewish sister, my career, what it's like to be, an openly gay stand-up comic, going to Burning Man, getting different parts, my love life. I mean, I'll read to you some of the names of the chapters because they're quite funny. The thing about my family, it's called This Is Us, because that's the real This Is Us. It's not a show filled with beautiful person and then one overweight person and then, oh, we've done it. We have one. We've got one black person, one overweight person, and everyone else is gorgeous. Okay. And then about my childhood, it's called Stuart Little. And then my mother's chapter about how she got married to my dad is called It Was the Worst of Times. It Was the Worst of Times. My dating life is called The Last Train to Heterosexuality Stops Here. It's about my girlfriend, Lisa. Shelley Winters, I don't know if you guys know who she was, two-time Academy Award winner, Emmy winner. She helped me change my name when I was 19. There's a chapter on that. It's very sweet. I'm coming out, there's that on the Geraldo show when I came out in 1993. Yep. And then of course there's a chapter on my brother and sister, and it's called They Say That Blood is Thicker Than Water. Not!
That is true.
Things about friendships, keep your friends close and your enemies in a storage locker. There's a chapter, of course, about my acting career. It's called You Have to Do It with a Yiddish Accent. You call this acting? And then, of course, one of the last chapters, of course, is called The Birth of an Actor and talks about how I got the role in Birth of a Nation.
Wow, man, you're doing a hell of a lot, Jason. How do you keep everything compartmentalized just to keep everything in line?
And make sure I sleep 16 hours a day to get the depression in. You got to get that depression in. And then after that, I've got, another 8 hours to just get shit done.
And you said it yourself. You talked about your stand-up career, so perfect segue. You're doing stand-up comedy. What was the comedic influences that said, hey, I can do this?
It wasn't like that for me. What it was, I have to say, is I wanted to be a great actor and I wanted to get work, and I could not get arrested in the 80s when I started pursuing my career. Well, really the 70s, but I'm lying to make you think I'm younger. And I couldn't get arrested. And I had a manager named Catherine James, CathrynJaymes. Tells you how difficult this woman was. And she basically said, you're funny. You should be doing stand-up. And I said, no, I'm not funny in that kind of way. I'm an actor who's funny, but I'm not funny, that way. I can create funny characters, but I'm not funny. And then she convinced me to do it. I went up at the Comedy Store. My life flashed before my eyes. I followed Damon Wayans. He got in, and I got in as a non-paid showcasing regular. That's probably the worst bottom you can get before they say you're not going to get in. And it took me around 8 years to become a regular.
Wow.
And, that's when I started working there. And then I auditioned at the Improv, and I followed Billy Crystal.
Oh,
so
God.
That didn't work out for another 8 to 10 years. And then after that, I started working at the Laugh Factory a lot, in the Ice House and all the other clubs. And then I started touring. And
great venues, by the way.
Yeah.
So what was it like when you first started doing stand-up? You said you kept at it for years. So how hard was it? I assume, everybody bombs, everybody has great shows.
Well, in the day, the first shows I did, I was so nervous. The first show that people laughed at the Comedy Store, the Improv, I bombed completely.
Oh, God.
So bad. It was just sad. And then I just decided that I would do comedy 3 times a week, no matter what. And that's what I had to do. And I did that for years until I didn't realize I wasn't doing it anymore. They didn't have as many comedy places to work as they do now in the 80s when I started. So it was different. I mean, now if people want to see me live, they can see me. When will this be on the show?
Oh, this will be coming out this Tuesday.
Oh, okay. So June 5th, I'm going to be at the Venice Comedy Compound in Venice, California. That's near the beach. And then I'm also doing a thing called the Backlot at June 6th, and that's in the Valley. And then I'm doing that with Wayne Fetterman and
Yes.
Jordan Dax. I don't know if you know them. And
Yes.
then, and then I'm headlining Gay Pride in Sonoma on June 18th at the Deerfield Ranch Winery.
Wow.
So I will be getting drunk after the show and eating a lot of cheese, and I hope I don't fart.
That's okay
And
though.
then and then what I'm really excited about too is doing the Desert Rose Playhouse. I'm doing a theater in Palm Springs with Selene Luna from Coco and Shan Carr, who's the queen of like the Atlantis cruises. All the gay people know that. And I'm doing a show with them, and they're going to be my special guests there. And I'll be in Oakland area at the Alameda Comedy Club on the 23rd and the 24th of July.
Man, you're
So
booked.
yeah, but all you have to, if you don't remember all that stuff, just go to my website, jasonstuart.com, STU. I always say, Stu Art.
Exactly. I like that.
People want to spell it the other way. God, my head looks huge.
Hey, that's all right. It looks bigger than mine, which means you probably got way more knowledge in your head than what I'm carrying with me.
No.
Oh, I can't imagine what you've got to go through, especially with acting, having to learn lines, things like that. I mean, is that maybe the hardest thing about acting is keeping
That is
lines
the
straight?
hardest part, is learning the lines. The acting is easier, honestly.
And how much improv
Now,
have you been allowed to do then?
I have been very gifted in that area and very lucky in that area. So when I used to be on My Wife and Kids with Damon Wayans, who I met when I auditioned at the Comedy Store, because I used to drive him home. He didn't have a car at the time. Yeah, I used to play Dr. Thomas on My Wife and Kid, the therapist, and we do the show as written, and then we'd be able to, the second take, we'd be able to do whatever we wanted. And 9 out of 10 times they use those lines, so that was great.
Have you been unfortunate enough to have a director that is totally against ad-libbing at all, where he wants
Oh yeah,
100% to
or
the?
you just,
How frustrating is that?
it's not, well, it depends. If you're working with a new director in a low budget film and you can make it better. I did a film called Hank with this wonderfully
Yes.
talented director, Hung Neo Lee or Lai, Li Lee, I guess
I think they pronounce it Lee.
Yeah, but he spells it Li. And Neo I said, when I got the part, he actually offered it to me. And I said, when he got the part, I played this very sweet man, very quiet. And I was the lead. I played Hank. So I said, would you mind if I fiddled around with some of the lines? And, he said, no, not at all. Because he had, he's Chinese. So he knew that writing a film about America is that it had to be in our voice. And I cut a lot of the dialogue out. And he said, you're the only actor I've ever met that wants less dialogue. I say, well, in this film, this guy is being choked by this relationship. And I thought, they were deciding whether they wanted it to be open or not. And I thought, I can do this with my face a lot better than I can do it with these words. And I'm a big fan of showing things in film rather than saying it. If you're going to do dialogue, it has to be brilliant. I mean, very rarely do people talk this much in life.
That's
like
true.
In Albert Brooks' film Broadcast News, James Brooks' film, when Albert Brooks and Holly Hunter play best friends in this film Broadcast News that was written by James L. Brooks, there's a scene where he says to her, meet me at the place near the thing, on the corner on the side. Yeah, okay. And that's, who you don't see dialogue like that in the movie, and it's brilliant, And he also said in the movie, and I'm paraphrasing probably, which is terrible for such brilliant dialogue. There's a scene in the movie when they say to Holly Hunter's character, somebody at a party says, "What's it like to be right all the time?" And she says, "It's absolutely awful." These are great lines in films.
So, and with, like you said, you like to convey acting through expressions of the face. Now, there's recently a movie I saw with Nicolas Cage. I believe it's called Willy's Wonderland. It's kind of a spoof off of the old game Five Nights at Freddy's. The entire movie.
The
This
old
man
what?
has it's called Willy's Wonderland, but it's kind of a play off the old video game Five Nights at Freddy's.
Don't know that at all.
Now I have kids, so I'm kind of I kind of know all the pop culture with that. But the man has not a single line of dialogue in the entire thing, and in my opinion, it might be the best film he's done.
Better
Now,
than Living Las Vegas? Better than adaptation?
to me, all right, the movie is out there. I'll give you that. It is way out there. It's about killer like robotronics, like Chuck E. Cheese type looking
And that is
animatronics.
better than Leaving Las Vegas?
For the simple fact that he has the greatest acting job I've ever seen him do without a single line of dialogue.
Wow.
Now, in the same breath, with you saying that you like to portray through facial expressions, is that something you would be open to?
I'd be open to anything. If somebody calls me and is interested in me for in something, I'm always open to talking about it. Yeah, I'm not anybody that's in a position to say I won't talk to a filmmaker.
Now, being an actor as well, as long as you've been doing it, what was the one time because it has to have happened, when was the first time you were starstruck?
Oh gosh. Huh. In a show that I did. You know what's so funny? By the time I started getting on things a lot and frequently, it was around 1994, 95. And I'd already been in stuff and I'd already met people. I mean, I'd worked with George Clooney, but he wasn't George Clooney then.
Yep.
I'd work with, I worked with Kathy Kenny, who I knew from the Drew Carey show. I knew Drew Carey. I knew Damon Wayans. So I knew all these people. I knew Norm Macdonald. I knew people. I'd already met them. So I think Laurie Metcalf on the Norm show really, because her work, I sat and watched her, was so brilliant. To watch someone really understand how to put together, the laughs in a scene. I really watched her. I remember that. I was so impressed. And they actually gave me an extra scene on that show. I played a couple with Mary Pat Gleason, I believe. And we played this couple that were in the, I guess where they try to change you into being straight, a gay couple that work for a day, what do you call it? Those places, I forgot. I have a block.
Conversion
therapy, yes. A couple that had gone through it. And so I'm with her, and in the second scene, I got to be with her in the scene, which was sort of great. And then I work with Faye Dunaway, and I know everybody thinks she's crazy, but I worked with her on a little film called Ghosts Never Sleep. And she was extraordinary to me. She was very quiet at first and in character. She played this Irish woman whose son had murdered her husband. And I played this talk show host. And after I did the scene with her, I said, Faye, would you, if there's anything to do, let me know. I'm Jason, I play Barry. And she says, let's just run the lines. I ran the lines and she completely changed. And she was so in it with me. And even when I was doing my close-up, when you do a film, they do an establishing shot usually, and then close-ups in different angles. And she stood there on the other side of the camera for me the whole time. She was absolutely wonderful. George Clooney was the best. I did a series called, what was it called? Oh, Sunset Beat.
Oh, wow.
And it was about this guy that was a police officer during the day and a rock and roller at night. And I played Marty, the nightclub owner. I talked like this. And they let me improvise on the show all the time. Patrick Hasberg was the showrunner who had produced, of course, 21 Jump Street. And they were trying to do another one. Didn't work out. It was only on for, I think, 6 episodes. I think they made 6 episodes. They only aired 2. And I was in 2 of them. And he was great. He would say, I learned the lines backwards and forwards. He said, just say anything you want. I'll go with it.
Wow.
And I would always make references to old TV stars. And I said, what are you, Marlo Thomas on that girl?
The good thing is, though, I'm sure he got the references, though.
Well, what's so funny is when he was in the film with the Andrew, what was the name of the film? He did a film years later where he was Oscar nominated. And they were doing a screening of it, and Judy Greer was actually in the screening in the film with him. And they were doing a Q&A after, and I waited my turn very patiently. And I was in the audience, and I said, George, you know, I think you're going to get nominated for this role. Oh, wait, see, I'm going to look up the name of the movie because I'll.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, George, I think you're going to get nominated for this film. Oh, it was called oh my God, it was the Andrew Payne film.
And see, my earliest memories of Clooney is on Roseanne as Booker.
Oh, right. And he came back and did an episode when they came
Yes, he did. And I laughed my ass off. I enjoyed that show thoroughly as a kid.
Well, I think The Conners is a great show.
It is. They thought it would die out when Roseanne left, but in my opinion, it's just as good.
Oh, I think it's great. I think it's great. And I was in the audience, and I asked a question. I said, George, you know, every time you get nominated for an Oscar, what did I say? Every time you get nominated for an Oscar, they show this scene from Sunset Beat, which was considered your worst show ever. It was called The Descendants. The Descendants.
Oh,
yeah. And he said, worst show ever. And they always show the back of my head. Do you think they could just change it for a moment so I could get a line in? And he just went, done.
Wow.
I don't know whether you remember, and the whole audience laughed. And Judy Greer went, Jason? Because Judy Greer and I were in acting classes together. It's funny because I just emailed with her the other day, asking her to come to this event that I'm helping produce.
Wow.
Pride here in Palm Springs.
That was another thing I wanted to ask you about. You're openly gay. So how
only on the weekends now?
Only on the weekends, not just the days that end in Y anymore.
No, I can't do it every day now. I'm too tired. Friday, I rev it up. I can start revving it up, and Saturday I'm in there and I'm doing it. And Sunday I lie down and because I'm so tired. And then Monday I'm just moving furniture with you.
Hey, that's what I wanted to ask. How involved are you in the community where you're at with the gay community and gay pride?
I'm always trying to volunteer and to do something to give back, because Jack Lemmon always said, if you go up in the elevator of success, take people with you.
Yes.
So on November 5th in Palm Springs, it'll be the first live gay pride I think that we're having in California. So that means everyone from Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, Long Beach, Orange County will be coming up for pride here. And we're doing the Night of 100 Stars. I don't know if we'll get to 100. So Night of the Stars coming out party, which is coming out from COVID and also coming out, you know, and we're going to have this party. I'll host it and on stage for a little while, and then some other people will host it. We've got everybody coming, all the people that live in Palm Springs, all these big stars and all the actors and comedians and singers and writers and choreographers and all sorts of people. So it'll be a lot of fun. And it's to support the businesses in Palm Springs, because in COVID, you know, everybody lost so much money, and I wanted to do something to give back.
That's amazing, Jason. And see, with, you know, today's day and age, the LGBTQ community is huge. It's well accepted. At least it should be. I don't see why anybody should have a problem anymore.
Now that we have a new president.
That's very true.
We're back in.
You're back in the party.
Did you notice that the Ku Klux Klan members on the news said the other day, they don't wear hoods anymore? No, they don't need to do that. They wear polo shirts and khaki pants. And I said, that's what I wear. Bitch stole my look.
Holy shit, that's hilarious. Oh my God. So with the gay community, was there anybody in Hollywood that when they came out just surprised the shit out of you?
No.
Wow. Okay.
Not really. Not
pretty
that
simple.
I can think of. Is there someone that surprised you?
I'll be honest. There was one that really surprised me, and right off the top of my head, I cannot think of the gentleman's name, but he was the new Dracula in the film that was out maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh, the British actor.
He's also in one of the Fast and Furious films.
Yeah.
The great actor, an amazing actor.
I don't know his work well enough.
Yeah. When I heard he came out, my wife told me that. I was like, holy shit, I would not have guessed that.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
I was sitting at a bar around 2 years ago, getting ready to go on in a club, and some woman comes over to me and she starts chatting with me, and we're chatting, and I'm thinking, I think this woman's coming on to me.
What's going on here?
Yeah, and I think the picture's right there. I'm the guy. Oh, it doesn't say gay. All right. Well, so I guess she doesn't know anything about me, and we're talking. And I'm going to see how long I can let this go. And we're talking. I say, well, nice to meet you, and maybe I'll see you later. And after the show, she comes over to me. She said, I liked you. She saw the show. She said, you're funny, but God damn it, every one of them is taken. You know, you're only 10%. I don't know what maybe you have this thing about unavailable men. But so she was yelling at me. But women sometimes occasionally think that I'm straight. I don't know why.
I'll be honest. You can't just look at somebody and tell that they're gay or lesbian.
Well, I look at you. I think you look a little gay to me.
Well, hey, I'm in Nebraska, you know.
You got the big muscles. You got the. You could stand up a little more. I could see the whole thing.
I wish the muscles were a little bit bigger, but I'm working on it. So.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
But no, like I said, that gentleman right there is definitely one that surprised me. Another one would have been I can never remember these guys' names usually. He was in the show Prison Break on Fox. He wasn't the brother. He was the brother trying to get the brother out of jail.
Wentworth, yeah.
Another amazing actor.
I'd already known about him before I got the show.
What's his name, baby? Wentworth Miller. There we go. I've got my wife backing me up. Really?
I don't know. That's what my mother would say. He's a Jewish name. It's like she always says, "What did you get? What vaccine did you get?" I said, "I get the Pfizer one. It's the Jewish one." I got mine really early in the first week in March, and I went to take my mom. She's 84, and I took her and I helped her out of the car, and she says she's getting right in front of the hospital. She says, "Give my son his shot." That's the parking lady. And then we went in, and she goes, "Give my mom." That is the security guard. This woman can't help you. And we finally get to the table. She says, "Give my son his shot. He takes care of me." And I said, "Mom, what are you, Shirley MacLaine in terms of endearment?" She said, "Yeah, she was so good." Mrs. Lasky, you can't smoke here.
Oh my God. Oh God. That was too fucking funny. Oh my God. Oh Jesus. Jason, I gotta tell you, man, this is probably you and Mary Kennedy have killed me. There were things she talked about that had me dying even after the interview.
I think people need to see you. And enough about me. No one can see you. Stand up for a second so we can see what you look. You look like this. You look like this little head.
I pretty much am. I'm only 5'6".
Well, you seem even shorter. You seem like you're from the land of Oz.
I've been asked that before.
Yeah, you're tiny. And your wife, I heard her. Can we see her on camera? Are we going to see her?
Unfortunately, not yet, because this backdrop can't come down until I'm all done.
What do you live in a trailer or?
No, contrary to popular belief, not everybody in Nebraska does live in a trailer.
Oh my God, I'm learning so much. The show is not,
we have cars. We have more than horse and buggy now. We have paved streets.
Oh,
I mean, it's
where
really coming up.
Are you in Lincoln or where?
No, I'm actually about 20 minutes away from Omaha, just north of Omaha.
Funny Bone there. I worked at the Funny Bone, and I worked at another. I think it was called the Nebraska Comedy Club.
Yeah, that sounds about right. The Funny Bone. You've got to come back.
Oh, I'd love it, but she stopped returning my calls, I think, around 15 years ago.
Well, I think it's under new management, so to hell with her. Let's get you back into Nebraska.
I would love that.
We'll try and get you here during maybe the spring or the fall when it's not so hot, not so cold. You get just about the right weather.
You talk to them, and I'm ready to be there.
Oh, absolutely. I think we can make this happen.
Oh, yeah, right.
You never know, Jason. You never know. So with your comedy career actually picking up, and we'll start winding it down here, you look like you are pretty much booked throughout this summer.
No, I'm just booked for June and July.
I'll
And
tell
then
you,
we'll
that's
see what
still a
happens.
2-month stretch where, man, you
Yeah.
look like you're going to be putting in a lot of work.
We'll see what happens. You never know. Right now, people are just getting used to coming back. I'm actually going to meet some people. That's what I have to be done. So I'm seeing some people in person at a pool. I gotta. So it's all. People are starting to see each other in person. It's really weird.
It is nice to have everything returning back to normal, getting the comedy clubs open again. Thank God, because I am a huge fan of stand-up comedy. My wife gets tired that I watch so much of it on Netflix. So
Oh,
it's
really?
crazy. It's crazy. I love stand-up comedy a
Have
lot.
you watched any of my clips?
No, not yet. Hey, and
No.
I'm telling you the truth.
Again, you could have lied.
And
I gave
no,
all these opportunities.
I know I'm terrible. I've got to tell the truth though.
Have you listened to my new stand-up comedy album?
Yes, I have, Jason.
Oh
Yes,
my
I have.
God!
And it was amazing.
I'm the daddy and I have
Amazing.
candy. Yeah,
Amazing. And you
available
killed me.
on Spotify, Amazon, everything, all that stuff.
All right, Jason, this is where I'll start winding it down now. This is where I turn it over to my guests. I would like you to let everyone know where they could find you on social media, anything else that you've got coming up that we may not have discussed just yet. And then at the same time, any charities or organizations that you're a part of or donate to that you would like to plug. The stage is yours, my friend. Go right ahead, Jason.
Well, I would say first go to jasonstuart.com, and you can read it right here because you're putting it there, right?
I
Jason
will.
Stuart, Stuart. All my social media is there. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, everything you can think of. If you want to know more about my career, just look on the site or go to my IMDb, which is right over here. Oh, it's over there.
I'll
No,
find
it's
it.
over there.
I'll put it in one of them.
What I always say, I mentor a lot of people, and people always say, "Why do you do that? Why do you do that?" I said, because it's really important to give back in any way you can. And during COVID, what I did is I gave a bit of money that I had gotten from different charities for comedians. I gave it to Feeding America because they were the group that took all the food they bought from all the they were making 4 restaurants in places so that food wouldn't be wasted, milk from cows and all sorts of things that were rotting away because the grocery stores couldn't buy, what are you going to do with 3 vats of mayonnaise in your house? So that's a really important organization to give to. Always take the time to give someone a helping hand. It's important. And for those of you who are thinking about coming out, because this is Pride season, when you're out, you're not only out for yourself, you're out for me and I'm out for you. We're all different people. We're all completely different. And I say to the 2 people, between the Republicans and the Democrats, it's time to come together. It's time, I believe a lot of the Republicans now are seeing that basically everybody's a person. We all need help right now. All this money that has been given to people in the last year has been really giving people a helping hand, where we've been giving tax breaks to millionaires for years. I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, whereas the working man, someone who's a waitress or works in a gas station or works at a 7-Eleven, none of these people got breaks. And people are saying a lot of things like, hey, they just want the money so they don't have to work. No, they're afraid to go back to work because they don't know whether their job is going to be there for any amount of time. And the unemployment is crazy to get again. It's very difficult. So that's the reason. And these are the people. That's what America is. Wherever you live is the working person who's living paycheck to paycheck, and we have to make sure that everybody's okay. We really, really do. We have to care about our brothers and sisters, and we have to care about people of color and what's happening in this world. It's 200 years of this,
Yep.
And if you were a person of color, you'd be this is enough too. You'd see what that was like. And as a Jewish man and as a gay man, I certainly don't know what it feels to be of color, but I have an idea what it feels like to be discriminated against. I've been fired, I've been let go, and I know what that feels like. And I think now is a time for us all to have an equal playing field. And I'm hoping that that's the way it's going to be. That's my hope. So God bless everybody. Take care. Thank you for having me on the show. Go to jasonstuart.com. I answer all my own fan mail and friend mail. And thank you so much, Brian, for having me on the show.
Jason, absolutely. And very well said, by the way. You're absolutely right. This country just needs to come together and stop the bullshit.
Well, it is. It's craziness. We have to believe the truth of everything.
Yes.
You know, we have to believe that, and we have to believe, and the people that run the voting machines are not Democrats or Republicans, they're people.
That's right.
You know, that's what's really shocking to me, is that, you know, I heard one funny thing the other day on the news, that they said that they took all the ballots and they put them and let these chickens eat them. So they had to kill all these chickens, because they killed their chickens because the chickens had the inside, because chicken shit is where all the ballots would have been, along with the ones that were done on rice paper from China.
Oh my God, that's a new one.
Yeah, it's been all over the news.
Oh my God.
This is where we are right now.
This is why I just shy away from the news anymore. I mean, really, that might be one of the most ridiculous ones I've heard as of yet.
It's not, it's, if you're going to do something, it's not an easy thing to do. These ballots are really, really watched.
Oh yeah.
There are laws, and there are, people, and all the, people take their jobs seriously, and we have to start respecting the people that do all this stuff.
Yes.
Have some decency, as a human.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice to see. Jason, I got to tell you, this has been amazing, man. This has been a very well worded interview by you. And I will take your advice moving forward. I'm just going to have to lie when they ask if I've seen something or read something.
Read my book. Shut up, I'm talking. My mother gave me that title, because they wouldn't let me call it I'm Not Barbra Streisand. I said, Mom, what should I call it? She says, I don't know. I said, come on, Mom, think of something. I don't know. You don't know what? She says, all right, look, shut up, I'm talking. That's the title. Thank you, Mom. And on that note, I'm going to say thank you.
All right, Jason, this is where I sign off. Everybody, you know the deal by now. Find it on YouTube. The video will be there at Brian Knutson or at the Spin-off. Same thing on Facebook. On Twitter, a little different story. At Knutson_Brian for the audio or video on YouTube, but at the Scarlet Cream for the audio only, and that'll be out
I don't know what you're talking about. It's so confusing. You need to get a website.
Oh, I know. I wish I had one. I really got to get this going.
Just get one website with one page. You can have all the stuff there. They just click on, like mine, jasonstewart.com.
Exactly. It's going to have to take a rebranding for one of the podcasts, but it's going to get done. I'm right there with you. Know exactly what you're talking about. So it becomes too much to tell people at the end. So absolutely. Guys, you know the deal. You know where to find all this. Anywhere podcasts are, Apple, Amazon, all that, Spotify. So for myself at the Spin-off, anybody watching, listening, thank you so much. And for my guest, Jason Stuart, thank you. And I hope to have you on again soon.
Thank you very much.